what do we have here? Decided to drop by on Neon and do a little vandalism, huh? There's a steep fine for that. Zero tolerance. Tell you what, you pay the fine now, and I'll let you off with a warning, or things are going to get messy. Maybe, but as soon as you started putting up a Striker gang sign, that crosses the line. No way. It's my ass if something goes wrong here. I'm just doing my job, you know. I'm sure you're on the up and up.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
I'm done talking to you. So either pay up, or you get shot resisting arrest.
And that's the way Neon works. Grease the right palms. You can literally get away with murder.
Enjoy your stay on Neon.
Bad I can't squeeze the Aurora from this.
I'd be making a fortune.
Yeah, you. You're really going to
Speak with me.
We've got you covered.
Disciples will pay.
You've really kicked the hornet's nest. Good. Andrea's running point on grabbing the gun stash. I need you and Vogel to keep the Disciples off balance.
So we're finally doing this?
It's time, Vogel. The gloves are off. Both of you, keep the collateral damage down if you can. But it's do or die. Then today's your lucky day.
This is worth the price of admission. We hurt the Disciples bad, and we're helping real people.
You two coordinate whatever you need to. I have a request. I know this is asking a lot. Newell's Goods has some armor. Not mil-spec Ranger gear or anything, but better than the cast-off clothes the Strikers wear. So if you could, well, spring for some armor upgrades? Maybe convince Newell to sell it to us? All the strikers owe you big time. Any credits it costs, I promise we'll pay you back with interest. Now's the time for the strikers to make a comeback.
Pull up a chair and have a drink. I hope you aren't here to cause any trouble. Unfortunately, that will have to remain my secret for now. It's safe if the identities of the involved parties remain anonymous. Let's just say I was owed a substantial debt, and the bar was how I got paid, and leave it at that. We'll see you again soon, yes?
Finally, Briggs is going to let me kick these disciples where it hurts. I've been telling him to let his best man loose for weeks. So thank you for changing his mind. You better believe it. Both of us worked for that hellhole Xenofresh way back. I was a casualty of a reduction in force. But Paul Briggs's leg got crushed in an accident. So Xenofresh, being the class act they are, they fired him, and later even sued him. So it was him and I on the streets. I helped him through rehab. The Ebbside strikers sort of grew around us. You better believe it. The plan's simple. We hit the street runners hard in as many points as possible. Maximum chaos, right? Then Andrea can waltz into their weapons cache, snag the big guns, and then the real fun begins. Well, Briggs ain't the only one thinking round here. Here's 3 groups of street rats for you. Me and my boys will take some others. Fun time.
Yeah, sorry if I'm a little out of it. Didn't get much sleep last night. Lillian and me, I tried talking with her and I lost my cool. Got a little heated. I know I woke Cora up. Well, up until a few years ago, she kept hoping we'd get back together. I mean, Lillian and I stayed married longer than we should have for Cora's sake. But we really weren't doing Cora any favors there. No, I'm careful about that. I mean, I try and not put down Lillian within earshot, which, well, isn't that hard, really? Lillian, she's an incredible woman, truly. But it is always, and I mean always, about the job. When she bleeds, Freestar colors spill out. And back when I was a ranger, we were quite the team. Oh, don't worry, you're in a category all your own. Where was I? But one day, I was just done. No particular reason. It had been building for a long time. See, I tried to convince Lillian to leave it behind, come with me. She shot me down. Hard. Hurt my pride. More than a little. But she was probably right. Yeah. Separation ain't known to be kind on little. It's funny, our latest argument started because Lillian thinks I'm putting Cora in too much danger traveling with you. I mentioned the idea you had about maybe Cora staying with Lillian if things got too dangerous. Suddenly she was all excuses. She's always going on that she doesn't see Cora enough. And then I try to take her up on that and yeah, fireworks. Late night stakeouts, shootouts with a lot of leftover adrenaline. Well, we were never lacking in chemistry. Compatibility, on the other hand, nah, don't be. It's always something. Cora's been stood up a time or two by Lillian. Always for the best reasons. Last time I think Lillian got a medal for it. But at a certain point, Lillian's excuses don't matter. Poor Cora cried for a week. I don't want to put her through that again. If I do that, y'all might want to invest in some industrial-strength earplugs. For now, Lillian's going straight to voicemail, so everyone can sleep easy.
Submit your application.
Get out of my face.
Got those two.
Had to chase more Dietrich's been great at the meetings. Wish he'd stop bringing those dumplings. But Rosa, much better, thanks for asking. I don't exactly know what you said to Dietrich, but he's certainly turned everything around. He's really stepped up and taken an active role in fighting Neon Security's corruption. He's even organizing the merchants' meetings with me. Best of all, I think we've become good friends, which is a rare thing to come across in this city, I can tell you that. Oh, dear Lord. Did Briggs put you up to this? All these gangs are a menace. I don't want to have any part of it. Because they're bottom-feeding parasites. They steal and murder, and security couldn't care less. Us businessmen have to draw a line somewhere, and this is mine. I've known Briggs for ages, and he's not the problem. It's people like Hatchet and Andrea. They're dangerous. They are definitely the lesser evil. All right already, all right. You pay and I'll send Briggs his armor. But this is a one-time deal. I don't want anything to do with this madness after that. That's not a discount. That's robbery. You may think so, but I don't. Okay. You've made your point. I hear you. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, I hope so. Fine. You can have your discount if you just stop your yapping. I'll get the armor over to Madame Sauvage. We're done.
Now, James, I don't want you to get upset,
Possibly
but
one.
Administrator Bayou came by while you were out.
Oh, yeah? His Majesty decided to come down from his throne and walk amongst us peasants? What did he want?
He said he wanted to personally thank us for our contributions to the city and hopes for our continued support. I'm sorry.
Our contributions? Those taxes we pay are a sham, so he can line his ivory trade tower with another layer of gold. Makes me sick.
How can I help you today? Stop by again soon.
Newell's Goods has a full line of equipment and accessories.
throat.
You believe this guy?
You're the strikers, darling. Yeah, we had those blighters all tied up until you came along. The name's Holt, and I'm here to offer you a deal. Good, you're reasonable. The strikers are old news, positively analog. You help us take out their so-called leaders, and the disciples can pay big. Credits, yeah? A dumpster full of them. Literally, if that's your thing. In order to keep a rat in place, you gotta scare it, terrify it. And if it happens to be good for a laugh, well, that's a bonus, right? And you give a damned about that why? This ain't your fight, pal. Ebside's always been about survival of the fittest. As long as the tourists stay away, no one cares what happens. It's time to die, arsehole.
We got the guns, new fish. Went in, pop, 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 and the cash is ours.
And that's thanks to me and my new best mate. Hit any problems on your patrol? Hell, at first I thought you were some dumb thrill seeker. But you're, well, pretty awesome. Everything's going according to plan, Briggs.
Good. Now we hit them where it hurts. This warehouse is one of their main strongholds. Not going to lie, taking it is going to be hard. New fish, we wouldn't be here without you. What's the play? Go in guns blazing? We hold back? Then we all go in together. You heard the plan. Let's do it.
This is it.
Playtime is over. Downstairs, now.
Security. Recognize that concept told anywhere. Hands off weapons.
You think Neon Security wouldn't know about what's going down? Please. Looks like you've done a bit of violence, a bit of murder. Word is, all this is due to you. Why are you messing around with my streets, huh? You would know the first thing about my job. So here's what's going to happen. Gang violence gets too noisy. That hurts the bottom line around here. No one affects the bottom line.
Tell that to the disciples.
No. I want you to, Mr. Briggs. The disciples have been pissing me off for far too long. So, your gang throws off Sewer Rat Blue and starts wearing Neon Security Black. Or, you can be found face down in the streets. And you say your goodbyes. Briggs is a smart lad. He'll make the right choice. Setting street rat against street rat is pretty elegant, right? Don't take too long. Time to onboard the new hires.
Good you're here. Huddle up, gang.
Is this for real?
They want me to be a cop.
Shit. We could get a real pad. Maybe even move out of Epside? Briggs, I'm so in.
After all we've done, Neon Security seriously will let that go?
I don't see why not. Do you really think anyone cares who stabs who in Epside? What's your take? That's Neon for you.
Oh, this is the tip of a very ugly iceberg, my friend.
Anyone object to going for the deal? This is your chance. No one? Good. Really good. I'll give Owen the news. I can't say I was expecting this. Whatever god or gods we please to get you to help us, know we'll be forever grateful. With resources and backup, the streets are gonna be safer. It looks like the strikers are retiring. And here's your cut.
You guys did this? It's almost impressive. Almost. You guys did this? It's almost impressive. Almost.
Housing here is so expensive.
Yeah?
Pretty
What do you
soon
want?
I'm gonna have to
I've got more than you can handle. Have a look for yourself. He's never looked better. Had the paint cleaned up, some things smoothed out of his chassis, and even upgraded his firmware. All thanks to you. Look, I know it's ridiculous to be this excited about having that big old tin can around, but he's still the only friend I've got. Come to think of it, after you took the time to help me, I'd say I've made a new friend. And, you're welcome here anytime. Feel like bringing... You ever get nightmares, Sticks? About the war?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Your inquiry is invalid. Neon Tactical deals in weapons and armor for use in combat. For cleaning supplies and other household items, please visit the appropriate vendor. Disengaged.
Sometimes, Sticks.
Don't even bother with that other place.
If you're looking... Hey there. Welcome to Newell's. Sure. Have a look. Watch your back out there.
Mania Adams was looking for someone
Welcome,
discreet
off-worlder,
for a
to the
job.
Hotel Bullseye.
Apparently, I don't qualify.
And affordable, and with a crime rating holding.
Look at you.
Don't go causing trouble.
Look out for gangs. Actually, the gang should look out for us.
This Aurora's is blowing my mind.
I'm a little stoned right now. So, let's take it slow. Feeling the music? A fan, really. Although, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. They can get pretty possessive. Doesn't matter if it's my things or my time. And I pay it too often. Sometimes I just want to quit all this and make music for me. But that doesn't keep the aurora flowing or the lights on. So, we make do. But, sounds like it all worked out in the end. I've got my slate, which means the people will get their trip. Inspiration's like a wave. Sometimes, it's hard to catch it before the break. That's what this slate is. A still wave. A feeling frozen in time. And I appreciate you bringing it back to me. Yeah, it looked like nothing was downloaded or tampered with. I'm almost glad it was taken by a fan instead of a competitor. Would have been awful to lose that thing. I was working on a brand new concept piece about floating into the center of existence. I'm not feeling it yet. I'm still working out the last few sections, but thanks again for fun. Sound safe.
a chance.
I'm afraid I'm not in the best of spirits right now, but I'll try and help. I said I'd talk to you sometime. It was nice speaking to you.
Captain.
You are cleared to dock at the clinic, the best medical facility in the settled systems.
You are the greatest. No, better than the greatest. I know that's grammatically
Solid
impossible,
docking
but
job there.
somehow
Nice work.
you managed to do it.
Hi. Please disregard.
Ma'am,
I
I'm just
attempted
occurring.
an informal
I
greeting,
understand that.
but
I'm
I
not
am
blaming you directly.
dissatisfied with the results.
Dr. Salvato, how long have you been here?
About a year now, Doctor.
And in that year, how many times have we had this conversation about late or missing shipments of supplies?
I believe this is the third time.
Yes, that sounds right. 3 times. I will be making it very clear to your superiors that lives are at stake, and the clinic requires reliable transport. If your company cannot meet our needs, someone else will.
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
Thank you, Dr.
Got anything you need to
Salvato. May
offload?
return to your
Trade authorities always buy. Kiosk right here for you. Anything I can help you with? Okay, no problem.
There's certainly no shortage of things to do around here. Welcome to the clinic. I'm Dr. Darvish, Chief of Medicine. Is there something I can do for you? I thought perhaps the name gave it away. This is one of the preeminent medical care centers in the Settle systems. We take our work very seriously. Are you? Because I don't have any appointments scheduled. We have a particular focus on astrovirology here, so the patients we take on tend to have unusual cases that require long-term care, and sometimes require unorthodox or experimental treatments. We have an excellent track record that speaks for itself, but it doesn't leave room for much else. Whatever business you may be here for, I trust that you will conduct it quickly, and do so without interfering with my staff or our operations. Would you now? Well, I suppose we could always use additional research specimens. The more data we have about what's out there in the Settled systems, the faster we can diagnose novel illnesses. In theory, at least. I suppose we could consider you an independent contractor of sorts. Naturally occurring sealants can have valuable applications for medical research. We can always use more examples of them. What we're looking for are basic organic substances. They could come from any number of flora or fauna on countless worlds across the Settled systems. Just keep your eyes open as you travel and harvest things when you find them. Or frankly, if you can find them at a reasonable price somewhere, purchase them. I'm less concerned with the source than the materials themselves. If people would stop poking their noses into I am, yes. I took over from Dr. Eswaran when he retired 9 years ago. While the clinic does occasionally take on research projects that have their own chain of command, I am ultimately responsible for the entire facility. The clinic has occasionally been faced with unique situations that might be considered hazardous in other facilities, but no, nothing that could not be contained and dealt with. I'm afraid that information is confidential and restricted to our corporate partners funding the projects. Certainly. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of new worlds that humanity has set foot on. While many don't host some sort of life, there are more than enough that do. Any one of those worlds could be inhabited by all manner of pathogens, things we've never seen and have no idea how to treat. Someone has to try and stay ahead of what could be a very deadly curve. Here at the clinic, we do our best. If we do it right, no, not usually. An abundance of safety protocols are in place, and we have decades of experience. Ironically, this may be one of the safest environments in the Settled systems. Take care.
It's a grav drive. I literally can't get here any faster.
Cool space.
You didn't hear this from me, but those eclectic mercenaries, the factions use them sometimes. Freestar Collective and UC both. That's why they give them a wide berth. Ask me, those murdering assholes should be blasted into space dust.
How can I be of service, Captain?
Worst I usual. Not exactly a hotbed of criminal activity here, is it? Well, let's see now. I joined up in 2292, so that'd be 38 years now? Damn. Hard to believe, now that I think about it. Almost 40 years. There ain't been many Rangers who served that long, I can promise you that. Well, offhand, I can only think of two. Cassie Hickson made it to 42 years before she caught a bullet from one of them Shaw gang boys. He got himself all liquored up at Aggie's. That's over in Aquila City. started using the passers-by for target practice. Then there was old Rusty Ortega. Had a good run of 52 years and retired to a farm on Montara Luna. Passed away just a few years back. I suppose I don't think much about it, but when I stop to count the years, well, they sure do add up. I'm just here to keep the peace. You need medical help, I'm the last. Well, you'd be guessing correctly then. Even if there was some kind of trouble, which there almost never is, Freestar Security would handle that. Truth is, this post is what you might call ornamental in nature. Ever since the clinic came under Freestar Collective control, there's been a ranger here. I reckon it's to serve as a reminder who's in charge of this place.
I couldn't tell you the last time I wasn't breathing recycled air. This place is a far cry from Aquila City. That's for sure. New-ish. I've only been here a year, which, well, when you compare it against Dr. Darvish's career, it's not much, is it? I'm thrilled to have the opportunity, but it's been an adjustment. Very few cases here are simple, and most of them are medical emergencies. I guess that depends on what you consider a break. We get some time to ourselves. We're not on call all the time, but we're never that far away from it either. Now that I think about it, I haven't actually left the clinic since I got the job. I actually hadn't really noticed. No, not really. This is my home now. The people here are wonderful, and the work we're doing is incredibly important. That's what really matters. Hey, let's keep our voices down. The clinic doesn't exactly know I'm giving its supplies away. That being said, I've been expecting someone soon. I've heard Bayou really has a vice grip on Neon right now. I have some supplies I can give you. Should be more than enough for now, and it shouldn't draw any suspicion from the clinic. I'll have them loaded onto your ship. Sorry, I can't do that. This is the most I can give you without drawing suspicion. I'd like to think so. I'm glad you understand the position I'm in here. I'm not really that busy. I think I can wait you out. Sorry, but I can't afford to give you any more supplies. I can't lose my job over this. What I'm giving you now should be more than enough. The supplies will be loaded onto your ship. I hope the supplies are better get going.
When I told them I was good with computers, I didn't think they'd trust me with the entire clinic. Well, yeah, somebody has to. It's great medical care, but not the latest in support tech. Funding only goes so far, and most of it's prioritized for keeping patients alive. And there's still a lot of outdated UC tech behind the walls that needs interfacing, so I stay plenty busy. You know, I used to. Then I realized I could catch something just about anywhere. And if I did, this would be about the safest place in the galaxy to be. So, I feel like it kind of all evens out. Well, then I'd be out of a job, wouldn't I? You're not entirely wrong, though. But someone would have to convince Dr. Darvish it was a priority, and I gave up on that effort years ago. Oh, you're not familiar? I'll give you the quick version. UC built the station back in 2194. It was outside of their established territory, which caused a bit of a disagreement and a bit of a war. And after what I think most people would agree was much too long a period of time, the war ends. One of the terms was the station was handed over to the Freestar Collective. Huh, never really thought about it that way. Guess you're right. Although, is that really irony? I feel like I don't really understand what qualifies. So since then, the clinic's been under Freestar Collective control.
Over 100 years now, I think. Over time, it started to focus more on weird things. People picked up on all sorts of planets and space expeditions, became known for it, and now focuses on it almost exclusively. And here we are today, carrying on that work. Actually makes me feel kind of proud when I lay it all out like that. Have a good one.
Need to make sure those files are backed up.
A couple of years on duty here, and anyone would be qualified to run any other hospital in the settled systems. Are you the courier? You're not really supposed to be back here. You can just drop the delivery off by the docking port, and someone will take care of it. Really? Well, sure. We can't afford to run low on supplies. Never know what kind of medical emergency might pop up at any moment. Well, we're really not that kind of a hospital, and don't usually deal with walk-ins. If you really need to speak to someone, Dr. Salvato can probably help you. Well, I wouldn't really say we work together. It just happens to be in the same place. He has his job keeping the peace. I have mine keeping this place running. Truth be told, I think it might drive one or both of us a little crazy if we actually work together. But I do appreciate being able to see him every day, even if it's just to pop over to his office and say hello or share a meal. It's nice. Nurse supervisor, dear. I'm the one who takes care of all the doctors, as well as the patients. The more I can look after, the more the doctors can focus on patient diagnosis and treatment. Every role here is important. Oh, sometimes, sure. Somebody walks in or is dragged in with something we haven't seen before. You best believe it's all hands on deck. Have to find out if it's lethal or contagious, or both. I used to. I think we all did to some degree when we started working here. But really, how does worrying help when you've got people to treat? It just gets in the way. It can be, yes. But we've all learned to live with it. If we didn't do this, who knows how many lives would be lost. It's harder on the newer folks, that's for sure. You take that Dr. Salvato, nice man, but he's a little on the skittish side. He's a good doctor, but just needs a little more confidence, you know? Oh, aren't you a dear? No, he'll do just fine. He just needs some time. Actually, now that we're talking about this, I wanted to do something nice for him. Give him a little pick-me-up. I overheard something about a meal he hadn't had in a long time. Thought maybe if I could deliver one to him, it'd be a nice gesture. You think you could help with that? Aren't you just the sweetest? You know that Don's Roost restaurant in New Atlantis? The fancy one? Dr. Salvato was talking about the synth liver pate. Said he'd never forget it. You bring me a plate and I'll make sure we brighten up his day.
I'm just a nurse.
Nice to be back.
This is Freestar Space. Please hold your current speed and heading while we scan you for contraband. Scan complete. Go.
technological leap, then let Ryujin Industries help you.
It's a dangerous galaxy.
You aren't looking well at all. Perhaps you'd better sit down. Please state the nature of your medical emergency. I see. Well, I appreciate the effort, but there was no need for that. I hope it hasn't made things awkward between the two of you. Thanks for your help. You really came through for me. These supplies will be put to good use. Here, take this. You've earned it.
Submit your application with the nearest kiosk. Submit your application now with the nearest
People
kiosk.
joke, say those
Welcome to the Hotel Volai. Maybe after you've rented a room for a few nights. Sorry. Remember, we always have plenty of amazing rooms. Have your fun.
Galaxy ain't gonna conquer itself.
We have plenty of space available. Maybe after you've rented a room. Sorry. Let me know if I can help you while you're visiting Neon.
And with a crime rating of only 16%.
Best coffee anywhere in the galaxy. Terra Brew. Enjoy a cup right
There's
now.
got to be a megacorp that'll hire someone like me. I've been applying to different megacorps in the area.
No way.
Back to the job.
Pick me up. At Terra Brew, we've got you covered.
You don't want to pick a fight with me.
Neon's premier seller of all things unique and exclusive. You fought Cosmic engineers and designers to guarantee an experience like no other is crowded with. Don't just fly through space. You are the best, and you deserve that.
I'd eat fish for dinner one more time.
one quiet day. That's too much to ask for? It'd be nice if it would stop raining.
Oh, there you are. I'm feeling a bit better today. Sorry about all that before. The thing is, well, I lost my husband, Thomas, last week. He supposedly had a heart attack and fell from the upper platform. Of course, that's the official word from Neon Security. I'm not so sure they're telling me the truth. He was almost 70, but according to Dr. Manning over at Reliant, he was in good health. Heart attack, my eye. There's no way that's what happened. No, they certainly aren't. How that security officer could stand there and tell me Thomas died of a heart attack. Well, it's a damn lie is what it is. I'm sorry, this is my problem. You're just here to shop, and here I am filling your head with my conspiracy theories. Please forgive me. Oh my, you're the first person in this awful, awful city that's reached out to help me. Thank you. The security officer's report said they never recovered my poor Thomas's body, which means they're only assuming he had a heart attack. But instead of leaving the case open until further evidence has been discovered, they've closed the book. I want to know why. Yes, exactly. Oh, I'm so glad I'm not the only one who sees the problem. I suppose the proper place to start would be with Neon Security's witness, Tevin Anastas, that pompous ass over at the Emporium in Neon. Just please be very careful. I don't want to end up with 2 murders on my conscience. Everyone has problems with Neon Security. They're terribly corrupt with Administrator Bayou using them as his own personal brute squad. They come in here from time to time, but apart from being forced to give them employee discounts, I've never had anything suspicious happen. Tevin owns the Emporium over in Bayou Plaza. He's a horribly overbearing, pretentious man who wouldn't dare set foot in the underbelly. The strange thing is, we've never had to deal with him in person. Why he'd be involved in Thomas's death is absolutely beyond me. My husband and I opened the shop about 8 years ago. We were hoping to cater to the workers at Generdyne and Xenofresh. The business has had its ups and downs, but lately our rent has skyrocketed, so we've been forced to raise our prices. Unfortunately, the workers assumed we were becoming greedy, and as a result, we've had a couple of incidents with shoplifting and some vandalism. Honestly, I'm just trying to make a living. Sure, I suppose that would be fine. Huh? Oh, goodbye.
Trackers Alliance always finds their mark.
Neon's premier seller of all things incredible and...
So, why did you drag me in here?
You said you wanted to buy something nice for your girlfriend, so here we are.
All of our
Here.
items are guaranteed to be of the highest quality.
This place is...
Are you sure you're in the right place? You certainly don't look like one of our usual clientele.
There's expensive, and then...
I cater to the high-end client. Affluent, intelligent, and successful. In Neon, that would be what we call the upper 10%.
I'll help you out, okay?
I take it from your tone I've made an error in judgment. Please forgive my disrespect. We have quite a few, shall we say, thugs that find their way into my establishment and create a disturbance. In fact, there's a particular Seoka member who calls himself Headlock, who repeatedly torments me by damaging my goods. The Seoka Syndicate, of course. I'm surprised you haven't run into any of them. They're a group of organized criminals who use threats and violence to push their own agenda. And honest people like me tend to suffer the consequences. They're based out of Neon, but no one is certain who runs the syndicate. Could be anyone. You mean kill him? Even if I wanted to, I wouldn't know how. I've never been terribly good at that sort of thing.
That's a real quick way to get yourself and your family floating to the bottom of the ocean. No easy solutions on Neon.
Anyway, I've already taken up too much of your valuable time. Was there anything else I could help you with? Oh my goodness, that's such a relief. You have no idea. Thank you for accepting my offer. Headlock's quite a dangerous gentleman. I believe you can find him hanging out somewhere in Epside near Frankie's Grab and Go. No one knows. Seoka are sleek, well-dressed mobsters. They aren't low-life gang members. Why they choose to hang out at a run-down little convenience store like that is beyond me. You say that, but Seoka aren't exactly pushovers when it comes to this sort of thing, so you better watch your ass. Anyway, that's really all I know. Head back here when you've taken care of the situation. Good luck. Oh, I carry all sorts of unique items from across the settled systems. Luxury products for the discerning buyer. I'm not one to boast, but my shop won me my position as Administrator Bayou's personal decorator. His penthouse is my pièce de résistance. Before I forget, I also pay top credits to travelers that bring me unique baubles and trinkets, so keep your eyes open as you explore the spaceways. I believe he's a newer member of Seoka. They pulled him up out of one of the street gangs that crawl through our sewers. If you're wondering how I know about that, he boasts about it every time he comes in here. He's quite a large gentleman. I believe you can find him roaming the street somewhere in Epside near Frankie's Grab and Go. Look, if he somehow disappeared, you'd be doing everyone in Neon a favor. No one would miss him, no one would care. I'm not telling you a thing. I've already reported what I saw to security. Stop wasting my time and leave. Your presence is bad for business. There's nothing to tell you. Get it through your skull. Listen, I don't want anything bad to happen. Nah, how did I get involved in this? Oh my god, enough! I'll tell you what I know, if it'll get you to leave. I saw it happen. Thomas was murdered and thrown into the ocean. Afterwards, I foolishly reported the incident to security. For my efforts, I was rewarded with a gun to my head and threatened with death if I didn't keep silent. No, the officer that threatened me was completely different. And the murderer wasn't wearing a uniform. I'd wager that the murdering bastard has a friend in security that's covering things up for him. Really? Am I not allowed to leave my own shop now? Yeah, if you really must know, I was going for a walk. Shocking, I'm sure. Ah, come on. I'm not risking life and limb to save someone I barely know. There are people that get paid to do that. I'm not one of them, so I simply prioritized my own safety and didn't get involved. A lot of good that did me. It was hard to hear over the commotion, but I'm sure I heard Thomas call his attacker Russell and Rusty a few times. From what I could gather, the attacker was after credits, and Thomas refused to give him any. After that, well, Thomas went for a swim. God, no. I've seen him around here and there, but if he ever were to come into my shop, I tell him to leave immediately. In fact, I would never even talk to someone like him. I have no business dealing with petty criminals or Aurora addicts. Where else would someone like him be, He stays at the sleep crates near Madame Sauvage's place. In any case, when you confront him, my name cannot be mentioned. I very much dislike sharing Thomas's briny fate. And with that, I must insist you leave me in peace. That is, of course, unless you'd like to make a hefty purchase. Look.
Sophistication or ready to make your future.
Hey, buddy. Why don't you throw a few credits my way, huh? Help a guy out, yeah? End up in the ocean? What the hell are you... Wait. No. He told me that everything was taken care of. No one would know. Listen, you gotta hear me out. I never meant to do anything. It was an accident. A friend. An old buddy in security. But that's all you're getting from me. I'd rather take my chances with you than with him. Why else? I needed some creds for Aurora, and everyone knows he and his wife run that shitty little shop. All they do is rip people off. He was bound to have creds. I got in a fight with Thomas. I asked him for some creds, but the bastard wouldn't give me anything. Things got out of hand. He ended up falling off the upper platform. It was an accident, I swear. Then I called my buddy in security and told him what happened. He took care of everything after that. Hell no, I'm not doing that. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a rat. Listen, I messed up, I know that. But nothing can change what's already done. Just let me go and I'll disappear forever. No one will ever see me again. No one even needs to know I'm alive. Just, come on, just let me go. No, I can't let that happen. Why couldn't you just let me go?
You're getting interested. Oh, get it? Never was.
You want to see how short my temper is?
What'll it be? You lost, kiddo? Sure. I just don't get too many quality customers here. Most folks head over to Newell's or the Emporium if they've got the creds. I'd say less than half my customers are legit. The others are just kids up to no good. Sounds like something a thief would say. I had some high hopes for this shop back when my husband and I opened it a while back. These days, if you ain't a regular, you're usually trouble. Of course, something happened. Ain't that always the case? Let's just say those hopes died a long time ago, and there ain't no reviving them. Snacks, drinks, odds and ends, typical convenience store fare. Thought we'd snag a few of the Astro Lounge clubgoers who might want something to go on their way home. Turns out we were more appealing to the local gangs. And live in a UC? No thanks. Besides, I ain't about to let a few undesirables chase me away from what I've built here. Never heard of him. Now, are you gonna buy something or just annoy me all day? How am I supposed to know where he is? Maybe so. You just won't give up, will you? Yeah, I know Headlock can't stand them. And I heard some of the other Sioka can't either. That boy doesn't know how to keep himself out of trouble. What'd he do this time? Well, if any place should be terrorized, it may as well be the Emporium. In any case, if you're so desperate to find him, he and his friends are probably hanging out in Warehouse 4, somewhere near there. I gotta ask, what are you gonna do with him? Huh. How very noble of you. I certainly wouldn't go get myself killed on Tevin's account. Anyways, I got a shop to run. Are you gonna buy something or what? Solomon thought a small convenience store with cheaper prices would make a killing. Of course, the only killing made was when he got himself shot in a robbery. Now it's just me running this place, so you can see why I'm not a huge fan of strangers in my shop. Mostly tied up in those good-for-nothing gangs. Those disciples and strikers always fighting over who gets to run the place, and not giving a damn over whose lives they ruin. I may not be on the main strip, but I make enough to keep me afloat. Lucky for me, my regulars are a devoted crew. Hopefully it's something you need. See you around.
Gangs think they run this city.
Oh, yes. Hello. Please, tell me everything you know. I want to hear it all. I knew it. I just knew that I was being fed lies. Nothing added up right from the start. Neon security. How can they sleep at night and act like my husband's life wasn't worth anything? My husband's killer. Did you find him? What happened to him? Rusty. I believe he was one of the Generdyne workers that would come around and cause trouble. Steal things, vandalize, or the like. They were a rowdy bunch. My husband usually handled the troublemakers and became well acquainted with Rusty and his so-called friends. Vandalism and shoplifting is one thing, but murder? I just never thought things could go this far. So, what did you do with Rusty? Good. And good riddance to him, too. An eye for an eye and all that. I'm not the type to wish death upon anyone, but he deserved worse for what he did to my Thomas. And about security. Did you find out which officer is behind the cover-up? It's for the best, I suppose. Going after security is suicide for us both. Knowing the truth is vindication enough. In a weird way, I'm relieved? No, that's not the right word. I guess I'm just glad that I know the truth, even if it won't bring my husband back to me. I never would have figured out the truth without you. I have credits for you here. Of course, I want to thank you for everything. You're the only person to show me kindness in this city. You've helped me out more than you can know. Now that I know the truth, I think I can start focusing on healing. Or trying to, at least. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart.
Who the hell are you? And who do we have here? You here for business, or to get your head caved in? Is that so? I'm not just some low-life thug anymore. I'm with the Sioka now. You mess with me, you'll mess with the whole syndicate, and that won't end well for you. The Ebbside Strikers. I ran with them for a good long while, but then it just became embarrassing. I couldn't even feed myself when I was with them. Clawed myself out of the gutter, and Sioka took notice. My talents were being squandered with the Strikers. I was too good for them. Oh, so you think you're funny, huh? Keep talking like that, and I'll make sure you're eating trawl through a tube. So go on, hotshot. Give me a reason why I should leave Tevin and his shitty little store alone. Go on, enlighten me. But don't waste my time. Sure. There may be some better uses of my time. Looking over your shoulder in Neon can get old. That would be scary if security weren't corrupt as all hell. They're dirtier than I am. Oh, come on. You weren't even close to convincing me. It's gonna take a lot more than that to get us to stop paying visits to Tevin. Last mistake you'll ever make.
Take the good stuff.
Wanna mess with me and my friend? Ha!
Cute. Real cute.
Oh my God! Open you! I'm out! Got me in the head!
Would you care to pick up an...
Be careful. Headlock is a dangerous gentleman.
Oh my.
Now that is a true relief. I thought I would never be rid of him.
I'm not one to get involved with the rabble, so I'm glad you came along when you did. Thank you for your help. Come back soon. You never know. Ah, it's all... You won't find the more elegance. It was good to have you in my shop. Farewell.
This shift doesn't end soon.
Ever wonder how the Crimson Fleet seems to be everywhere? It's because they've been outposted.